T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Stop!
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods. Top-notch get the most, not the lesser. Straight terror, product of your errors. Pushing culture, baby, got that product you can measure. Trendsetter. I say, yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy. Fresh start time, fresh new mind. Free on the inside, free on the outside. Why you worry when you know that he gon' make a way? I done seen him make a blessing like 100 ways. Everybody got a time, a dog gon' have a day. Only running to the Lord, I never run away. Curving him, demons try to get me, but I'm swerving him. Circle him, target in my flesh, I had to murder him. Satan only come to steal your joy just like a burglar. Smirking him, I know he got it covered like a pergola. Yeah, buddy, rolling like a big shot. Got cleaned up and I only serve a big guy.
Yay. Good sir.
Oh,
good sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. In the building.
What up? Point.
Everything and nothing all at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah. Listen,
That's
let me make sure.
Right.
Hey, make sure my audio's right. Looks good. Yep. Sounds good. Bro, you ready for tonight?
Yeah, man. I am. I feel good about tonight's show. I mean, we're on a winning streak, at least for the last 4 or 5
years.
Episodes.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, the years too. But you know,
this is the dynasty. Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Maybe This Will Help the Podcast. This is season 4, episode 39, giving you that relationship talk you can relate to, the good, the bad, the alimony. Grab your favorite friend, grab your favorite drink, come join the conversation. We're about to get into some candid talk and hopes that maybe it will help. It might traumatize, but we got something for that at the end of the podcast as well.
So we help them and possibly traumatize them, and then if we did traumatize you, then we have something for you at the end that'll help you. So either way, it helps. Either way.
Yikes.
Either way, I feel like
the way you said it sounds like you're intentionally trying to traumatize people, Michael.
I've been intentionally traumatized, so why not share that with the
Wow. Man? Okay. Well, I prayed before tonight's episode, so we'll see. God, watch over us, all the technical difficulties, let everything flow smoothly. Everyone who needs to be here, may they arrive. Yeah. May this bless somebody, whoever has ears to hear. Talk to us and talk through us.
That's right.
Through us, in Jesus' name.
Man. Tyson for
I did have the Mike Tyson. Talk to us and talk to us. Jesus, in Jesus' name. All right, that shut off. All right, let me go back to that. Come on, man. Favorite part of the week. What was your favorite part of the week? I just need to know.
Yeah, I feel like you already know. I'll say it just to let the masses know. Janae and I finally did our engagement photos. So we had this dope photo shoot in Hollywood, and we had this crazy, weird, eclectic photographer. You may know him. It's Don BG Photos on Instagram. Yeah, and when I tell you, actually, if you guys want, on my stories on IG, I put a few little BTS little snapshots up there.
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah, nigga. So me and Janae, we going through and we like, I like that one. I like that one too. So we trying to use just our favorites. Half the photos you took are favorites. So it's very, very hard to choose. Like the photos came out better than I think we both thought they were. Nasty work. Work.
I told you I was gonna show up.
You and not only did you showed up, showed out, showed off.
Listen, I'm gonna stay humble with it because they did turn out amazing.
Nah, don't be humble.
Listen, God, sure, I pray like God, thank you for this because y'all whole situation has inspired me, right? And so I'm looking at this whole opportunity like, man, I miss doing photography and just the whole setup. That's why I brought out the studio lights and everything for y'all, man. That was a hell of a shoot. That was a hell of a shoot.
It was very it was super professional. The location was crazy.
Yo, that location was fire.
Yeah, man, I couldn't ask for anything more with that. So yeah, that was my favorite part. And of course, being able to the person shooting and the person I'm shooting with being two people, like two of the closest people to me. It just, I don't know. It came together, man. It was great. It was a great experience. Yeah, man. Stop smiling.
Well, listen, wealthy is the man or the woman who makes the memories that they want to remember.
Say that. Yeah. That's a fact.
Wealthy is the man or woman that intentionally makes the memories that they want to remember. I don't care where you're at in life, man. You could be in a jail cell somewhere like Mandela, or you can be in a high-rise apartment in the middle of a party. But when you've been intentional through your lifetime about making memories, no matter where you are in life, you can always tap back into them. As I told them, my little time machines.
Yep.
Relive that moment again, man. It just makes life so rich.
Yeah, it does. It does. It really does. Sheesh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a good experience, bro. My favorite part of the week. So some of you may know I'm really close with my mom. Mm-hmm. Her favorite movie of all time is The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
So I got a chance to take her to see Wicked at Cinépolis.
Yeah.
3 hours later.
You were still happy you went.
Listen, it was just to watch her. So I got so much enjoyment out of seeing her face throughout the movie, right? But that wasn't the kicker. Every day since we went to go see it, she's called me and we've been talking about it because she's trying to dissect it.
That's good, man.
Today we had to go on like a little field trip to watch one of my really close friends' daughter do a gymnastic contest. It's about an hour drive, right? Mm-hmm. So we got in the car. One of the first things she said, "Do you have the capacity to break down some of the theories I have around Wicked?" I said, "Let's go." We talked there and back. Like it was, because anybody know my mom knows she's an incredible woman, right? And she doesn't ask for much, and so she lives on seeing other people excited and happy. But to see her that excited, like a kid, excited to talk about, man,
that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, that was the best part of my week, man.
That's good. That's a good part.
I couldn't ask for more,
man.
That just made me happy.
It wasn't a chicken flautas then.
Oh man! So after the photo shoot, Jay found this Mexican restaurant. Please give us the name so we can post it on here. This Mexican restaurant over in Burbank, bro. Man, me, Mike, and Jay literally almost hurt ourselves.
It was crazy.
It was so good. It was so good.
Tell you how they made that shredded chicken so, like, I don't know. It was something else. It wasn't chicken.
Wasn't chicken. listen, that makes me think of, so y'all know, I don't know, many of you guys may have never seen Jay before, but she's not the same color as Mike. And so while I'm out there trying to adjust my lighting for this Oreo cookie, I'm like, God, listen,
switch cameras, change the lens. God,
every bit of photographer in me had to rise up to accommodate.
And you made it happen. Sheesh.
Yeah, man. I only looked at it once. I need to go back through. But anyway, man, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show tonight. We're about to get into this. Yes. If you notice, we're not streaming on all the same platforms that we usually do.
I already put them up. We good. Everything is
we good? Yep. Facebook, YouTube, you up. My YouTube is not up, but
okay. I'm about to, let me put it up. We good.
I can just hold on. I'm doing it right now, or my Facebook. So I just did that and saved the changes. That's all we got to do. Oh, look how easy that was.
I know, right?
Wow. All right.
That makes sense on why the extra.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we will be asking for money tonight because they've went up on the rates to keep us online, and we need your help. Double. We will be needing your help. So we'll send you information on how to Cash App us at some point throughout the show tonight. We'll let you know. Listen,
that bad boy in the minute.
Right now, if you want to send $1 or $2 or whatever to Maybe This Will Help, $ Maybe This Will Help Cash App, just so we can stay online, man. Just so we can stay online, because they have definitely upped the prices. Yeah. And for everybody who's wondering, it's called Los Amigos Bar and Grill in Burbank, California. Los Amigos Bar and Grill. You will not be disappointed. I'm going back to get that chicken tostada salad next time, bro. Yep. And what was the little corn thing called? The little corn cakes?
Corn cakes.
Stupid.
Oh, this nigga said, "Is this dessert?"
Oh, I just need a whole bowl of that.
Yeah, seriously. And they feed you with the little.
Yeah, I need a whole bowl of that with some horchata.
Nope, we good to go. Don't pronounce that H.
I'm black, homie. I don't want to. And listen, until I'm adopted, it's horchata.
We'll go with it.
All the whores in the building. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get tonight's show started just like this. We ready? We hope you all ready. And yeah, I got this. This is how we want to start the show tonight, Mike.
My husband is everybody's favorite person, and I'm gonna tell you why I really don't like it. He's the favorite cousin, favorite sibling, favorite son, favorite everything. Okay. Everybody's used to him being the provider and problem solver for everybody else. And I just don't like it. Is that wrong? Am I being selfish for that? Because I just feel like that's my motherfucking man. Everybody don't need to depend on him but me. And I told y'all that he really big on his family. Like, it's family over everything. Somebody asked me before, like, are you a part of that family? Like, is it, when he say family over everything, is he including you in the family? Yes, but is it wrong that I really think everybody should have their own shit going on? I don't want nobody asking my man for money. Bitch, cause in reality, that's my money. Also, people inserting themselves in shit that don't got nothing to do with them. I don't like that either. Like, mind your fucking business. I really don't care that that's your favorite cousin. You still need to get out of his fucking business, bitch. Husband.
So I wanted to spend some time, because tonight's episode, I feel like it's going to be around who to date and who to marry. Even though that's like a broad statement, but we digging into this thing. Have you ever dated the golden child? And so the family's golden child.
So have I ever dated? No. But me and Janae, while the clip was playing, we having all these aha moments, because that's low key where we're at in our relationships in terms of me. Like, I'm usually, hey, we need the problem solver, money issues. We're gonna go to Mike. Mike is going, you know what I mean? And it's almost to a fault, you know what I mean? Because I know sometimes Janae's sitting back like, come on, my guy, like, what we doing? You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
So I looked at her. She said, yeah, that's how we be feeling sometimes. And what's crazy is I never thought of it from this lady's point of view of being the spouse of somebody, a person that is considered the quote unquote golden child. Like, how she feels almost like, this my man. He's like a little bit selfish, but rightfully so. Like, the young lady has a valid point. Like, when he got married, well, I don't know if she's married, but in marriage cases, when that man gets married, everybody else comes second. Kid, mama, daddy, the dog, everybody comes second. So she's feeling like, well, like this is mine now. So I want this all to myself. And I get that logic. I do.
Maybe this will help.
Yeah.
I look at it this way. So I hear what you're saying. This is mine now. But is there some sense of when you partner with somebody, you also inherit their responsibilities?
Yes, I do believe that there is that, you know, now that we become one, whatever we got going on is now ours. But I also think that as the husband or the head of the household, it's my job to now create some more sturdy boundaries when it comes to things like family, friends, who has the same access that they used to have before. When we were just dating, cool. I could give you 20, you need 50, you need 100, you need 500, cool, no problem. Oh, you need me to, but now I have my wife. Those boundaries need to be a little bit more strict than they once were.
Jay made a good point. She said, but is helping everyone a responsibility?
Ooh.
Because at the end of the video, she said, you know, she had an issue with people inserting themselves into other people's business. But my mindset is the golden child inserting themselves in places where they don't belong? Are we enabling and not opening space for people to learn how to be responsible for themselves? Like
1,000%. And this is something that I had to work with our therapist, Eric, about for a little bit now. Is that feeling of responsibility? Like people have put this mantle upon you. You didn't ask for it, but people have put this mantle of we go to Mike for whatever help we need, and now you've taken ownership of that mantle, and now you feel almost obligated to play this role that you never even asked for.
Yeah. So I've been in Jay's shoes. I've definitely dated before, been in a relationship before with the golden child of the family. And it was almost to the point to where they were so passionate about playing that role in the family that it would be like me pulling them away from them. It's like, in my own judgment, I think that the relationship balance and dynamics is unhealthy. But that's just because I'm not used to it like that, or it's not familiar to me. And so I almost felt bad, like, oh, shoot, like this is what you want to do. And I remember dating these few people, and they were like, well, because this is a passion of mine, I would love for it to become a passion of yours as well. Yeah. And I'm like, but my financial goals don't align with this, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost like dating someone or marrying someone with a child already, because you've established yourself in their life in such a way that maybe because they have a child and they have this connection and this responsibility, that might not be something you might not be able to be in a relationship with them, because your vision for your life doesn't fit in with the routine of responsibilities that you've given yourself.
Yeah.
If that person is giving themselves, and you might be like, well, you know, I don't think this can actually work, because I don't want to pull you from that. And we good, we got dynamics, we got chemistry, we like each other, but you know, when it comes to do day and day life, like that's our money. You know what I'm saying? If we're saving for something, that means that we both would have to agree, we're giving cousin $5,000. Yeah. You know what I'm saying to you, but your heart towards your cousin is different than my heart towards your cousin. So we gotta have a different conversation about that, because, you know, I saw this post that said earlier today that divorces ain't ending because of infidelity. They ending because of people can't agree on finances.
Interesting. That's interesting. Okay. I kind of want to go down this rabbit hole.
Let's do it.
A little bit though, because so what if we're in a situation where the golden child, who the topic of discussion, has the finances without it interfering with the household? I got the finances to break people off. Is that okay?
So that's the thing about it. You don't. Is it okay? I don't think it's a question of it's okay. It's if this is what you're going to do, you're setting an idea of how your relationship is going to work. This amount of money is allocated to something that has nothing to do with you, but we're one.
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
This is allocated to something but we're one.
Yep.
So if I say for instance, you fall sick and I'm bringing in money, you still allocating.
Yeah. 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 And,
so
and go ahead.
I was gonna say, how does that, and you say, oh, I got the money to do it, but I don't have anything once I become married. In most cases, most people are like, we become one. So it's ours. You know what I'm saying to you? Unless you have that kind of arrangement, then so be it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also what I've noticed firsthand is what it does is it enables those people to then okay, well, I know from now on, if I need some money, even if it's just to go to the movies, I'm gonna call such and such because I already know they're gonna give it to me because they always do. So now you're creating this new relationship of being somebody's ATM, really.
And I'm not saying it's wrong.
I'm not saying it's wrong, but I am saying you have to be aware of the monsters that you create.
Okay, that part. All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't complain about it if you, for the last 10 years, you've been chipping people off, and now it's getting to the point to where it's kind of getting irritating. Are you mad? They only call me when they want. Yeah, but this is what you set up.
I had a conversation with a friend this past week, and I said that if you don't hold people accountable, eventually you'll start to resent them.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think that's true.
And there's something to be said about what we hide under the guise of, oh, I love them. Then, there's love shielding them from the realities of life or preparing them for it, or setting an example for them to rise up in their true self, because once you're gone, it just reminds me of how Jesus, he's like, man, once I'm out of here, y'all gonna do greater works to me because I've shown you how. I taught you how to fish. I've shown you how to trust in God and those kind of things versus me doing everything for you. And then once I'm out or I'm not around or I'm unavailable or I'm incapacitated, then, you're at a great disadvantage.
Yeah.
So what does love really do in those situations? My grandfather told me one time, he said, don't let the devil bail you out of a situation that God put you in. God will have you in situations that are, that feel unpleasant for the purpose of your development, like a good father.
Yeah.
My mom is a wonderful woman. She does not want to see me suffer. Right. And I remember one time when I was going through a tough season and I wanted all the smoke. Bring it, God, whatever it is. That's when I was living in the basement of the church. I wanted all the smoke because I understood, because I parallel everything to the gym, that a good workout is gonna make a great body. But my mom was about to be a horrible spotter. Like, it looks heavy. If I make a face, she's trying to pull it off me. I'm like, no, let this weight fall on me until I learn how to push it. And I had to hit her with what would have happened if Jesus' mom interrupted him on his way to the cross. On the way to Golgotha, right? Just like she had to step back and understand that was his calling, that was his purpose, and now for the betterment of all mankind. But I'm pretty sure it was hard for her to look and watch that happening.
To your baby?
Yeah. But so the same thing with love. Sometimes we got to watch the people that we love suffer through the refining.
Yeah, and it brings me, of course, our always our go-to is, it brings me back to the gym. At some point, when I think both of us can attest to this, at some point when I see Donnie, on that last 3 sets, and I can tell he's in pain, I can tell he's struggling, it almost brings a smile to my face. Yeah, I'm like, oh, once you get these last 3, I already know what it's gonna do for you. You know what I mean?
Listen,
that's
man.
when good partner, a good spotter, a good partner in the relationship. When it's like, I see you struggling, but I almost find a bit of joy in it, because I know when you come out on the other end, you're gonna be 10 times better.
This post the other day said, if you blame someone else if you want to feel better, and it says blame yourself if you want to grow.
That's it.
Right. And so I think I'll take it one even level further. I've seen Mike's faces. I don't care how your face look in the gym when you're struggling. Mike can be struggling and everybody be like, yo, good set. And I tell Mike 2 more.
Yes, you did.
Because I've done that a few times, and he was able to push him out, because Mike will try to gaslight you. He know how to make a grimace, right? I don't care about your tears. I just don't want you to get injured, but ain't nothing about this look like it's going to be injuring. So And one of my friends said that's why the household needs a mother and a father, because mothers struggle with that more than the fathers do. My you know how I learned how to change a tire? My mom was so upset. I had a flat tire on my the first car I ever had, and my grandfather happened to be at the house, and I'm sitting outside. My grandfather comes outside, shows me where the jack and stuff is in the hatchback, helps me pull everything out, and he left.
Damn. Yeah.
My mom like, you're not gonna. He'll figure it out.
Golly. And did you?
Bruh, it got to the point to where my friends know me. I would travel with cables and jacks in my car just to intentionally help people on the side of the road. Man, 1 year, I can't tell you how many cars I pushed 1 year. It's like God was always showing me people who broke down, and they're on the freeway, they're on the side of the road. I'm parking my car, pushing their car, helping them, and you know what I'm saying to you? And it developed a skill inside of me that was going to be a way that I can show people God's love somewhere in the future, just by God send, helping me off the road, or, so it's just like the father. I'm not saying the mother can't do that, but the father is more prone to understand that I need you to be strong for where God is taking you.
That's good.
And not worried about your safety, because the father knows, and maybe the mother too, that if development hits you the way it should hit you, you don't have to worry about being safe. Other people got to worry about being safe around you. You're the threat at that point, right? And not in a bad way, but you just know how to get stuff done.
That's right. I like it. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, that was a good opening to the show. So you're going to draft that email up to the family and let them know the bank of Mike is closed.
It's officially closed for business.
Listen, they're being, what is it called when another company come in and take over? They're being absorbed into sheesh, got a new CFO in the building. Oh man. All right. So I got one more. We got anything in the chat before I move on?
Nah, not on my side.
All right. Sindria said the Good Samaritan. That is true. I love that story in the Bible. So check this out. We got one more softball, then we got to get into some stuff, but it's all leading to something, ladies and gentlemen. So just work with me here.
What's better, taking a girl's Instagram or taking her phone number down? And I always say, hands down, phone number 100%. From my experience, every time I asked the girl for her phone number and she gave me her Instagram, probably a 1% chance that something actually happened from that. Now she has a thirsty fan. Now she knows everything about you. She could see what you're about. You don't have that mystery anymore. And if you ain't living life like the Tinder swindler, you're not on private jets, you're not Andrew Tate, she ain't gonna want nothing to do with you, bro. This is why every time I ask for a girl's number and she tells me, no, why don't you take my Instagram? I just say no. That's it. You gotta draw the line in the sand. Either you give me your number or we ain't talking at all. That's how you guys gotta be. Because every time I've gotten the phone number, your success rate, it's much higher. Stop being that thirsty fan that girls want you to be. And this is why girls post their Instagram on dating profiles. And guys still follow them and hit them up. And it's a trap, guys. She wants nothing. Why do you think she's putting that out there? Because she wants to be a celebrity now. And most of you fools actually follow the girl thinking that she's going to respond to you, or thinking that you're doing some fucking deed for God or for her. Oh yeah, let me grace you with another follower. Let me start messaging you 24/7. But guys, go for the phone number, okay? If she don't want to give you the phone number, cool. Don't ever beg for a phone number. Just
hey, what? First of all, who hurt my guy? Who hurt him? He coming on real.
Listen, Candace says he's serious right now. Listen, I want to say this before we dive into the conversation. I'm so glad that I grew up in a time where it wasn't give me a phone number or your Instagram. I grew up with give me the house number, which graduated to your pager number, which was everybody excited to give out their cell phone number if they had one.
Let's do one better. We started off, I'm gonna write you a note, then you write me a note back, and I'm gonna write you a note, and I'm gonna write you. Come on.
It was a simpler time.
I like you. You like me. Circle yes or no. That's what we was on.
I have two sides of this argument that I have to share. So I'm split down the middle. So I want to see what you got first. Is there any?
The ultimatum is retarded. I would never give a girl an ultimatum. Give me your number
or else.
My nigga, else what?
I don't even know you, homie.
So you're the only one losing right now. She's not losing. She didn't come up to you. You came up to her.
Jeez.
So what are we doing? Second, I think that I understand. I can see his point of view where he's trying to come from. Like, the Instagram is more like this mainstream tool that people use for likes and follows. It's not really real. A phone number, that's going directly to her. It's a little bit more personal with the phone number, and I get that aspect of it. But I've never had the issue of a girl giving me her Instagram. I hit her up and don't get a response. I think that's a him problem.
Mike, we know that you don't have a lot of the same problems that most men have. We understand this.
I'm just saying that
tall, dark, and handsome doesn't understand the struggle of the average man. Let me share.
Please.
So here's what I'm hearing though, because we said it last week on the podcast. Even on the first date, women ain't giving out their home addresses. Like I don't know you, so I don't even know where you live. So I think that this goes back even to, because we live in such a day and age of technology, you can put somebody's number in, a search engine to find their address and everything. I think that I would tell my daughter, no, he can have your Instagram.
Good point.
Just because it's too easy to access people's information and where they live, and it's too many creepy people. And unfortunately, some creeps have made it tougher on the good guys who have great intentions. So I don't agree with the ultimatum either, but I can see why it would be safer to give somebody, your Instagram versus your personal number, because it just creates another headache if they're not as valid as they appeared to be when you first met them.
That's good. I like that. I didn't think about it from the point of view of like a security measure.
Yeah, like Candid said, we're trying to be safe out here, and that's the thing.
Yeah, that's good.
You know what I'm saying to you? So I get that point of it. Now, the other side of it that I'm still going to argue, which is kind of in alignment with it, he said that they're just trying to get another fan on their page. I know that we've had this big argument in the last few years about likes and follows and whatnot, but are we not understanding that people are getting paid? Like people are getting checks from Instagram and TikTok and stuff for their views and for the amount of people that have followed them. They're getting a look at companies to be their promotional models and stuff. And so when I'm talking about like, I can give you my number or I can officially make, 5,000 followers, I'm going, follow me, and then I'll give you my number, because that can be adding revenue to my life. So it's not so much that you appear thirsty. People are just, it's a hack right now. People are 16 years old with millions of dollars from stuff they're doing online.
Yeah, and we do that as entrepreneurs. We do that in business. I might give you my number, but I'm also gonna say, hey, go follow me on my business page, because it can create a revenue stream for me. It's lucrative. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that everybody's intention is to blow you off. You know what I'm saying to you? If they give you their Instagram, people like, how can I make money on this? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because you're a stranger and I don't know you. So yeah, I want to. Yeah. Oh, that's the one. That's the one. Go for it. Positive Plane said, I might be a little old school, but growing up, getting my number or getting the digits was a privilege, not meant for everyone. I give Instagram to let them down gently. I feel that. I'm not even mad at it, honestly. Is it a real? Nayo, is that a real Instagram? Or that's your I feel like, remember when we was growing up, Mike, or I'm a little older than Mike, but girls just give out fake names. Now they have fake Instagram accounts. And fake numbers too. Gee, that never happened to you though, I guess, huh? I probably I heard it happen to somebody. I heard it. Wow. You was the one doing it. Mike was giving out you never gave out a fake number? I've given out 5 digits. Damn. Jeez. You gotta earn the next 2. What? The next 2? That's 6. 5 plus 2 is 7. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Just stay off the screen for a little bit. Strong and wrong. Listen, nigga, I don't know why I heard 4. Bro, we was about to go to battle over them 2. My brain came up, was like, no, he said 5. Down gracefully. All right. It didn't take you that long to recognize the wrong this time. No, and I had no rebuttal at all. Yeah, there it is. All right. Yo, I am Danielle said they can have my work cell, giving out the work number. Listen,
Who was that? I was at, I have friends that are ratchet. Then I have some straight up righteous, holy friends, right? Mm-hmm. They said if you meet a guy that's interested in you, give him the number to the church.
All right.
The number and address to the church. And I'm like, that's wild.
Listen.
Is there a girl that's so pretty that you might? Okay, I'm not even finished the question. Ain't no way in the world.
Because what are we doing?
That's a great one.
I'm gonna go to the church and I'm gonna see somebody else, and you're gonna be shit out of luck because I didn't chose her. Now you didn't brought me up here, and I see somebody that's better than you. Now that's your fault.
I'm gonna go ahead and go into the next video because that's getting us into what we're talking about tonight. Tonight really is about who do I date, who do I marry, who do I date, who do I marry, and some of the processes we go through. Man, it's only 8:44, so we got some time to play with this tonight. I'm gonna go straight into a banger that's going to take us over into some other videos. Let me see if I got my order right. Are you ready for marriage? Yep. So let's start with this one. I want to start high and then work through some of the details of it.
Let's do it.
If you want someone to love you unconditionally, guess what you got to show them? All your conditions. More of your conditions that you show, the more human you are. And you got to remember, love is connected at the human level, which is relational, not at the transactional level, which is intellectual. And so again, I was able to show my fiance, like, I'm a man and little girl. You sure you want to marry me? Because Cheyenne, the grown woman, is very loving and she's very rational and she's emotionally intelligent. But when that little abandoned girl comes out, she is irrational. She's not emotionally mature, and she pops off and she may say some things that didn't even happen because she needs reassurance. Yeah. Because she's still broken. And guess what he said? I want it all. But had he said, I only want the good, I would say, bro, it's a package deal. The grown me and the little girl me comes together. You can take us all or you take none of us. I love that.
And after hearing that, I get what Kevin Samuels was talking about when he said, how the more educated the woman is, the more messed up the marriage is, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure she really thought she really ate that whole situation up just now. But really all she did was shoot herself in the foot unknowingly. What she don't get is whatever dude signs up for that program she running, she's not going to respect them long term. Because what starts off as a request ends up being a tool. So once she realizes that she could act that way and he's accepting it, she could use it whenever she feels like it. Just like a baby knows how to manipulate the parents. So if you're going to accept the grown logical one and then accept the immature traumatized version, which one you think she going to bring to you the most, dummy?
If you want someone to...
I wanted us to talk about this because we both been to therapy and dealt with this inner child. So I thought it would be a great conversation, bro. What you got?
First of all right, I'm gonna give you a it's taking me everything in me not to roast this dude with the alarm battery for the smoke detector. Anyway, so I'm gonna start with him. I feel like when people are not, I don't want to say when people haven't gone to therapy, but when people don't really understand healing processes, and when she was talking about the inner child, when people really don't understand that, then they'll give responses like he gave, which is, in my opinion, he sounded completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous, because what I heard the young lady say was, hey, as an adult, I have all of these tools. I know how to act. I know what to do. I know how to, you know what I mean, work and be in a relationship. But I also have an unhealed little kid inside of me that doesn't have those tools and doesn't know what to do. And sometimes that little kid shows up every now and then. And I feel like, for instance, if Jay would have came to me in the very beginning with that, I get that. I understand that, because I have that too. I feel like everybody does. Anybody with unhealed trauma from their childhood, everybody has that little kid that just blurts out sometimes out of nowhere. So my only issue I would have had was if she's not trying to help that little inner child heal. Okay. Now, if you're just okay with this child just running them up inside of you and just being crazy, then that's where I have an issue. But the fact that she let me know that she has these inner child issues is automatically a sign of maturity. that's automatically somebody I see myself with, because okay, you can even the fact that you can identify that shows that we can work together. I didn't see it as she's going to use it against me whenever she wants to, and that's not how I saw that. What you got?
I saw things a little different.
Okay.
This was fun for me to watch because I understand her point of view and I understand his. I understand that we can look and see this woman, Sharon, from a very mature place of understanding, you know, her shortcomings, or not even her shortcomings, just the multiple sides of who she is, right? But also I can understand the temperature and the fabric of the generation that we're living in, where there are so many manipulators, and where they're like, remember a few minutes ago, I just said that some of the creeps have made it hard for the good guys, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I think that some of the narcissistic people in our communities have made it difficult for people to go through a process of healing while in a relationship. It's almost like they have to be totally healed in order to feel safe, because the narcissistic people have pissed in the pool. And so everyone's worried that if you have a trait that's unhealed or hard to like, that at some point you're going to use that to try to manipulate me or get her over on me or get your way, because I need to be sensitive with this side of you. So I understand the worry and the paranoia he might be operating from. And I also understand the love all of me that she's coming from. But I land somewhere in the middle. And where I land is where you left off. How long is the child in me going to be labeled as abandoned? I had to walk that path with my therapist. And so saying that, you know, there's an abandoned little girl inside of me, there's I didn't grow up without a father. But at some point, through the work, I no longer, labeling him as an abandoned little boy was no longer appropriate. And you guys have been, anybody's watching this show for a good amount of time has witnessed my process. And they've seen the revelations I've come to, and they've seen the confessions I started to make, and they've seen how I'm able to move different now. And so I pick up where you left off. You know, I wouldn't say that because she's aware of it, that means we can partner. I think that I would verify our ability to partner based on the work that I see her doing and the fruit from it, not just talking about it.
No, I agree, and that's what I said. I said if we're working on trying to heal that inner child, then that's one thing. But if we're just, like I said, if we're just let this abandoned child within you just be abandoned, and we're just, okay, I'm like this because of this, and that's all it's ever going to be, then no.
And so now I go back to her video where she was saying, like, you know, this is who I am, mature person, but then there's this other side of me, right? And so do you accept that? And I'm not sure if we are being asked to accept people for who they are. I think we're really asking people to accept, do you accept the level of effort I've put into changing this? Because who you are is who you are. But what you're asking me is, can I partner with whatever the level of effort I put into changing it? So say for instance, I'm about to, you know, marry someone who doesn't cook and they don't clean, right? And that's just their fabric. That's who they are. And they're saying, you know, I'm not going to want to do that. And so in my mind, I'm like, well, do I want to hire a maid? Or are you saying that you, at some point within like the next 5 years, you're going to learn how to cook and you're going to develop a passion for cleaning? Like, what are we saying? And I don't want people to feel like is wrong to have a red flag for somebody who has an issue that you don't necessarily want to occupy in your relationship. You know what I'm saying to you? If that person has an abandoned child, you know, issue within them, and it's okay to say that's a red flag for you. It's okay for you to say that that's a deal breaker. I don't think that everything that everybody comes with that you need to deal with, you may not even be built to. And you don't have to make the other person feel bad about it. I think that the way the culture has been moving lately, it's almost like everybody's scared to say how they really feel about things because you're going to be canceled or because that's inappropriate. You got to be politically correct. You can't call a spade because then, you know, that shines back on you in a way like your tolerance is too low. When we're talking about my destiny and my legacy, my tolerance ain't none of your business. I am legitimately trying to protect the things that God has called me to steward and being wise about what I can handle.
Yeah, that's a fact. So which brings me back to if this gentleman saw the video and that wasn't his cup of tea, that just wasn't his cup of tea.
Yeah.
Clearly, the woman said that she was, I don't know if she said she was married or dating the guy. The guy accepted.
It was her fiance, I think she said, yeah.
Right. So clearly, this gentleman was willing and hopefully able to is she? Oh.
Yep.
No?
Mm-hmm. Tell the whole story.
I didn't. I just heard about it from Janae. I guess that she never got married and she's still single.
Yeah. So here's and here's where I'm at with it. So we're talking, theoretical and all these type of possibilities with people and stuff, but I'm being real just for myself. If I was to hear that,
yeah,
about if she was told that to me and I was the actual fiance, and given my lived experience that I've dealt with people who've been in those same shoes and didn't manage it well, I know for sure that my nervous system will send alarms to my heart and to my mind saying, hey. And it's not so much to say she's a bad person, but say, hey, this reminds us of, are we healed? So that we don't project onto her what happened to us in the past. Hey. Do you have the capacity? You should probably ask more questions about what that looks like in the day-to-day life. You should ask more questions. And so I know my nervous system would urge me to pump my brakes and take time to verify some things after she makes a statement like that.
I agree. I definitely think that a whole conversation should be had after that.
A bunch of them. Not just
I accept it in that moment, my nigga. What do you don't even know what you're actually accepting.
Because if we're saying if it's on the other side, and I'm telling you, I got an abandoned boy inside of me, right? You know what I'm saying to you that I haven't really dealt with or I've tried to deal with, but it's still a big issue. That could mean that when there's disagreements, I might shut down. Are you able to deal with that? That may mean that I might get verbally abusive. You know what I'm saying to you? Because I'm projecting onto you what, the anger I have towards my father. It may mean that I may go outside of our relationship trying to find nourishing because I have this void I'm trying to fill and you just may not be enough for me because of this issue. Like we just think that, I'm just going to just be there for the person and love them. Sometimes people's issues that they have that they're working through, sometimes those things, I don't want to say require them, but sometimes it influences them to be abusive in a relationship and not just physically.
Yeah, I agree. But to be fair, on the other side of that, there are people that can handle those things.
Yes.
So you just have to, the individual has to be honest with themselves. And also, like we said, have those conversations with that other person to make sure, like, okay, I'm not gaslighting myself. This is legit something I can, or legit something I cannot handle,
or don't want to.
Because some people I may be able to handle it. I don't feel like going through that,
and it's totally fine.
I don't want to go through that at 40.
And yeah, come on, and or maybe even early at 20, because I love the fact that she put it out there, though. Like, hey, this is who I really am. You may be in love with the mature version of me and the beautiful version of me, but here's some other things, right? I can be, what I'm saying to you, like I was called an asshole. I
didn't mean it, okay? I was just playing.
Okay, it was backwards day. I feel like I've never discussed that in therapy. I don't even know how to heal from that. So ultimately that's a you problem. But you know what I'm saying? I know that I have ways of being, personality style that don't work for people. You know what I'm saying too? So while I'm treating a date like an interview and telling you all my strengths, but not showing you all of who I am, I'm doing myself a disservice, and I'm really, man, I don't want to say manipulating you, but I'm not creating an environment for a true assessment to happen.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
It's like I told you, I interview at my job all the time. We ask people, what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? They love strength, but weaknesses is that I work too hard. I'm an overachiever. And I'm like,
come on, my nigga. So your strength is also your weakness. Shut up.
So let's just. But I understand that because you want the job so bad, right?
Yeah.
But same thing with dating, because you don't want to be single no more. You're gonna paint the picture. But we know that it's going to come out eventually. But by that time, you're already employed by them, and it costs so much to fire somebody. And now when you start showing things that you could have told them about in the beginning and they don't like it, then it's like, but I thought you loved me.
I love what I thought you were. Like, if you now showing me something else, I can't say, because it's not what I fell in love with. This is a whole nother person. I got to get to know this whole new person. But
the thing about it that it's hard for someone to love something about you that you don't love about yourself enough to tell me about when I first met you.
Yeah, buddy.
If you love that part, if you want me to love that part about you, I need you to love it first and love it so much that you tell me about it in the beginning, that you're not ashamed of it. This is part of who I am. I love it and I'm working on it. Do you think you can do the same? But if you hide it from me, that makes me think that you have an issue with it, but now you mad at me for having an issue with it and you hid it from me because you know it's an issue. And you mad at me now that I see it and I'm calling it an issue? What we doing? Like Mike said, what are we doing?
Lee.
That's the path we're going down tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard.
And so, in fairness, what makes it simple? What makes it easy? And I was having this conversation with a friend just the other day. I think it was yesterday. We were talking about this. What makes it simple? What makes it easy? Talking about choices and how easy it is to make a choice. But what's the hard part? Is it the processing or the willingness to make the choice? Like, because choosing is easy. You just gotta just say this, but it's the internal part that makes it challenging, or not getting what you want in return.
I think the hard part and the easy part are both the same thing. And I feel like for me at least, and I feel like that's communication. It's easy to communicate and tell somebody something, but it's also very hard to communicate and tell somebody something when you know what the outcome potentially could be. Like, if I got good news, it's easy to talk about good news. It's easy, but it's difficult to talk about, I slid in somebody's DMs and a conversation was inappropriate. That's the hard part, right? But still, both communication.
Why is it hard?
Like I said, the difficult part is how you believe that this truth that you have to tell is going to be perceived.
So the believing is the hard part. I'm with you on that, because talking ain't hard. You've been talking all day long.
Right.
Why'd you stop there? Why'd they get challenging? Well, because there's a part of this it might take away something from me that I value if I say it. And so my understanding is that, doing it is not the hard part. It's the part that's internal, the lack of practice that you have with your thoughts.
Yeah,
because you start to think about, this can go so many different directions, and that worry kicks in, right? I'm not going to say it's a lack of discipline. It's a lack of practice. We have to practice thinking.
Yeah.
Like I remember heard an old quote long ago said, think about what you're thinking about. Like, if we practice thinking, that is one of the best ways to regulate emotions. Practice thinking, because if you practice thinking, you get better at finding the train of thought, the path of thought that works best for you to stay committed and stay integrous and stay communicative without shutting down. You find the path of thought that works best for you to stay true to who you say that you are in your commitments.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that I'm glad you said that. And I think that the thinking part, I think that what I found is the practice that I have to make is, and tell myself internally, and sometimes even out loud, is it doesn't matter. Whatever the truth is, that's what needs to be put out. It doesn't matter how she's going to respond. It doesn't matter. It don't even matter if it's something where she's going to break up with you. Nothing matters at this point except getting the truth across.
Because you don't tell the truth for you, you tell it for them. I mean, you don't tell the truth for them, you tell it for you. I tell you the truth because I'm a man of integrity.
That's it right there. Yep.
It's not about what you deserve. It's about...
And once that clicked for me, everything became easier. You know what I mean?
Because you found a train of thought that helps you to stay true to who you authentically are, right? If we don't practice thinking, what happens is, I guess, like my mentor said, it becomes stinking thinking. And so the thing that becomes your biggest roadblock, your biggest barrier, the things that makes you procrastinate the most is your thought life. Mm-hmm. Remember that video we had up of Mike Tyson talking to the guru, and he was saying, why do I fear, or why am I afraid? And you asked me what I'm afraid of, and I don't know. He said it's because you don't know how to manage your thoughts.
Yeah.
And the thoughts are really just everything that you intake is going to give you, it's going to present you an idea, right? We're going to be presenting ideas through all of our senses, right? And then also what we're seeing on TV and everything is all presenting an idea. And I told you before, a belief is nothing more than an idea that got promoted. And so that's why it's good for us to filter in the data and information that's coming in, because sometimes I wouldn't even known to be afraid if I hadn't seen that video, or I wouldn't have known to be paranoid had I not seen that video. And I'm not saying you shield yourself from these videos, but I'm saying if you sit in your own time of meditation and recognize how to ask a deeper question. Like I told you, when people tell me that makes me scared, I say, what's the threat? What do you feel like you're afraid of? What do you think is going to happen? And when you start training yourself to think like that, then you don't get trapped in these cycles of fear and cycles of worry. You actually have an escape because you know, well, here's what I believe. Here's what I stand on as a final authority. So let me not go down that path because I know it's just a rabbit hole. Let me stick with the facts.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Niall.
Go ahead. What you got?
She got a question. She said, I have a question. Honestly curious about this. If Jesus were to sit down and an interviewer asked him what his weaknesses were, how do you feel he should have answered?
I feel like
I think his only weakness was humans.
I was gonna say us loving us too damn much. I appreciate it, Lord. I know I do, but
thank you.
That his biggest weakness was us.
Lou, they said there was the only weakness found in Jesus was the one that he took from us when he died on that cross. Mm-hmm. He was perfect.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna stand on that. All right, so now that we've gone down that path and we're dealing with who to marry, who not to marry, some of the ultimatums that people may present you with, or some of the honesty they may present you with, this video seems the most appropriate.
I got married when I was really, really young, went through divorce. Before we physically got divorced, we tried everything, and we went through counseling. A counselor once asked me, she asked him, if something was to ever happen to you and you were not able to take care of yourself, who would you want to take care of you?
Yeah.
He immediately looked at me. He said, Tiffany, I want my wife to do it.
Yeah.
She then asked me the question, if something was to happen to you and you could not take care of yourself, who would you want to be your caregiver? I said, send me back to my mother. This counselor looked at me and she says, Tiffany, we got a lot of work to do. Why would you ever decide to marry a man and to become one with him? And if something was to happen to you, you would not allow him to be the one that would care for you. I had to do so much self-searching, so much understanding of me. Then she went on to ask me, she says, if he never changes, can you accept this version of him for the rest of your life? And I said, no. She then looked at us and she says, well, then you all need to leave my office because you're not ready to die to marriage. I got married when
That's rough.
Where we at?
I'm just thinking about that first question about that caregiver situation. To hear your wife, to hear you say, hey, it's my wife 100%. And then to hear your wife say, send me to my mother. Ouch. Ouch. You think so? But then again, we don't know the dynamic of their relationship. He could have been abusive. He could have been all these terrible things to where she didn't feel safe with him being her caregiver. We don't know, right? But I think that last part, I think I have issue with. I think can you run it back and just go to that last statement she said?
No.
Oh, we will have to listen to the whole thing?
Yeah.
So she says something to the effect of, I got it. If this man stayed exactly how he was,
that version of him, yeah,
that version of him for the rest of, would you be able to deal with that? And then she said no, and then the lady said to leave her office. So I don't necessarily agree with that because I don't want, even though Janae is great how she is right now, I feel like you should always be evolving in life. I don't want anybody to stay the same for our entire marriage. I don't want to stay the same from our entire marriage. I always want to be getting better, doing better, finding other ways to make the relationship, the marriage, myself more appealing to my partner. You know what I'm saying? So for her to say, you said what? That was a point of the question. Right. So I think my point is though, but she said it as something negative though. Like the girl was saying, like the way he is right now, I can't accept that as him staying this way for forever. But I think it was because of she was saying he had some negative issues that she just couldn't deal with. That she felt like I can't stay here because this is how he is, and I feel like there's some things that needs to change. And I feel like it's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with holding your partner accountable. Hey, I have these issues with however it is you are. If it's something for me, if it's something that I can work on, or something that I feel like I probably should work on, or even something that my wife has mentioned to me that bothers her, I'm gonna change it, or I'm gonna work on changing it, because if it's not gonna kill me, why not do something that could potentially have a positive effect on our relationship?
Fair enough. You said in the beginning that you feel like people should always be evolving. Mm-hmm. But what do you do when circumstances or people don't do what they should do? When I'm listening to this counselor talk, this is obviously premarital. That's why she said, you guys aren't ready for marriage, because this is, and I think that that's a strong word. And I think that that's what people need, a strong word. I think everybody's trying to encourage you to marry this person. You guys can figure it out. You guys can work it out. You need more people that know enough to say, you know what, this ain't for you.
Yeah, this ain't.
You know what I'm saying to you? And I think that that's love truly at its core, because what I'm under the understanding that just because you think something should be a certain way, I've lived long enough to recognize that should is a dangerous word. Mm-hmm. Should is full of all the things people tell you not to have. Expectations, ultimatums. Should. It should be like this, but you ain't never seen this before. You ain't never seen this version of human being before. How do you know how it should be? You're assuming that this person should in this arena should be like everybody else and should be looking to evolve. But what about if they just do stay the same? Because it is a strong possibility. What if that's the cards you're dealt? Not because they're malicious, not because they're intentionally trying to hurt you, but just because that's just what's meant to happen. How does that impact your perception of them, your love for them? Because you're marrying this person today, right? And if your hope is that they're going to keep changing into something specific, or just change in general, that means they can go from the better or for the worse, because that's still evolution. And we don't know if we got 5-10 years with this person. Some people were married for 3 months. And that's all they had. But did they enjoy that 3 months, or were they waiting to enjoy it until the person did what they thought the person should be doing?
So I hear you. I think about it like this: if I'm in a relationship and the nigga's beating my ass, I know that he shouldn't be doing that. It's no gray area between that. So there are certain things that I know should and should not happen in a relationship. So if this young lady in this video is saying this is something that she feels like should happen, which is him not beating my ass, she has every right, because that shouldn't happen in a relationship. I think everybody across the board, we can agree that he should not be whooping her ass.
I don't think everybody agrees. That's why people still getting ass whooped. I would say this: it's illegal. It's illegal. Let's say it in America, because it's not legal globally. And there are a lot of people who practice that as a way of putting their wife or their partner into submission. Mm-hmm. So some people think that that's the way it should be. Some people think that the wife should shut up and do what the husband says. So there's more than one way to be abusive, right? And so if we're gonna have that conversation about abuse, we got to bring in even neglect. You know what I'm saying? We got to bring in stonewalling, because all those are a form of abuse. So I think it's a fair question to ask, because it does help you see where your heart is concerning this person.
Yeah.
I told you, I've been to premarital counseling twice. I think their job is to try to break you guys up. And if they succeed, then they really did succeed.
That might depend on the premarital counselor. I've been twice too. I didn't have that experience of mine.
Listen, I've been twice, and they never had anything against the relationship, but the questions they asked,
they make you think. Like shit, is they almost they try to cause you to rethink even.
Well, yeah. check your work. You know what I'm saying? Verify again. So I'm gonna tell you, before I wrote Before the I Do, before I wrote Before the I Do, I wrote a book. I was in Texas, and I was part of this men's group. And we were having a men's discussion on Wednesday about marriage and stuff. And in Texas, People get married at 18 as virgins, like all the time.
Yeah.
But then they also had like 3 or 4 marriages. The point is that I was sharing with them my thoughts about marriage, and the leader of the group said, he looked at me, he said, I don't think you know nothing about marriage at all. He gave me this book called Abraham's Son. He said, I'm gonna share something with you. He said, marriage is when a man chooses a woman under the knowledge that she may never appreciate or reciprocate his love, but he still wants to marry her anyway.
I could see that, but I could see that now.
I couldn't understand it at the moment. He said I only give this book to men who are engaged or already married. He said, I'm making an exception for you because you got some strong opinions. And he said, you know, it's love when appreciation and reciprocation are not required. But in this culture that we live in, it's almost like, well, then what's the benefit for me? And I understand the want and the need for a benefit. I get it. I get the urge for that. But I think that we should call that by a different name.
Yes.
Because when you meet someone and it's just like, I would give my life to see them win and never have to thank me from the podium. And I think that the struggle for me at that moment, and the struggle for a lot of people, was that how in the hell am I going to meet somebody like that? That don't happen. That seems too far-fetched and too rare. You know what I'm saying to you? And so then we abandon that idea and we go into this place to where, okay, it's probably a good 20 people that I could marry. Let me find ways to verify which one is the best, instead of going back to the foundation of, can you imagine trying to find somebody that you want to give your life for without even desiring reciprocation or appreciation? Of course you can, because you're about to get married to her.
Yes, 100%.
And you constantly come on this podcast and talk about how doggone rare she is. She's an alien. And some people would rather not sit in the reality of how far-fetched that person may be because it seems too scary.
And I get it. I get that sense of fear. And for the first 2 years that we were dating, I was afraid that who I was in a relationship was not like a real person. Like, I'm like sitting here waiting for you to actually show your true colors, or waiting for you to do something fucked up, or waiting for you to. So I understand the fear, but at the same time, at some point, you just have to come to the conclusion, like, they are among us. Like, these type of people are really out there. It's just a matter of, one, not settling and shooting yourself in the foot and jumping into a relationship because I want to be married. You could miss, because that woman or that man could walk around the corner 2 days later after you then got with this other fool that you know you shouldn't be with.
But then the idea behind that is, then, well, why would that person want me? We have these self-loathing ideas about ourselves that makes us feel that we have to be a certain way and rise to the occasion for someone to want to love us and not desire or require reciprocation or appreciation.
And I also get that. I just recently started to actually let those thoughts that I had about me, like, even in my therapy sessions, it's like some days I feel like, man, I'm not worthy of this type of relationship or to be with her. You know what I mean? But at some point, you have to realize that at the end of the day, we've all made some type of mistake. But
man, who wants to be with someone they feel like they actually deserve?
I did at one point.
I feel like that's a phrase that we really got to consider, because when you talk about what people deserve, often they think about all the good they've done. I deserve this because I gave to charity and I wrote this down and I gave this away and I did that. But when we look at the grand scheme of things and we think about deserve, I think for me and a few of my other friends who've had this discussion, we immediately want to take deserve and fair out of the conversation, because that's not really what we're looking for. I didn't earn my way into this dime piece over here. I didn't earn my way into this space right here. I should feel unworthy at that altar. You found that, or it was presented to you. And when we have our personal conversations, you tell me I don't deserve, or I don't feel worthy. It's exactly how you're supposed to feel. That's what separates. That's what makes it love versus this other thing that we're calling love that ain't really love.
Come on, man. Yeah. Yeah.
And then there's always a superficial side of it to where people are saying, I probably know somebody right now that will sacrifice their life for me with no desire for appreciation or reciprocation, but I'm just not attracted to them. They ugly. It is like
not the U word. Yeah,
they ugly. And I can't get past it. And you're like, wow.
No, that's okay.
And I believe that when I look at some of your grandparents, I believe that this is a new thing that's been introduced into our culture that they have to make your eyes as equally as happy as they make your heart. And that's a struggle for a lot of people. Men, falling in love with the way she looks with makeup on, but not without it. Yeah. But knowing she treats me right, but I just want a natural girl who looks that way all the time, or girls, loves the way he treats her, but he's 5'4". You know what I'm saying to you? And the hairline is receding, and you're like, how do I? And I think that it's so much of what could have really made life worth living because of the experience versus, I'm not saying the visual doesn't matter, but trying to make it is become so important that I'm willing to say, nah, I'm good on the whole thing over a few teeth.
A few, my nigga.
A couple.
Yeah, wait. Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, what did Candid say? Candid said, you can find alien friends too, and it's wild when you do. Alien people simply throw us off because unconditional love is so rarely demonstrated that it's like your system can't compute what you see.
That's it.
Nigga.
Yes. Your system cannot compute what you. Yes.
Listen, if you
in front of me, and I'm experiencing every day, but I can't wrap my mind around how this is actually happening.
You do that all the time. What is this? What is this? What is this? Listen. Yeah. Listen, checking her 23andMe and everything. Like, I know it's alien in her DNA somewhere.
Some kind of
Listen, if you guys aren't following, go follow Candice Alushila. That is the group I go to on Fridays called Gather. She is the director over that group, and an incredible mind on this woman. When you reach out to her, I'm not sure if she's gonna talk to you in English or Spanish because she's fluent in both. But Candice Alushila.
That's the last name.
Don't look at it. I'm spreading the whole thing, huh?
Don't look at it.
You might want me to.
Nope. Spell it without looking. Go.
YOULOOSE. Allah.
Cool.
Ulusula.
Okay.
So let me spell it the right way. Candice is CANDACEOLUSOLA. What are you about to say? Yes, thank you, TT. TT said, get her teeth fixed. Take her to the dentist. I'm trying, bro. Merry Christmas. But it's sometimes it's like I rather, what we talked about.
Teeth fixed. Hold on.
Because she's fine with it. It's you that got the issue.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess so.
If you don't like the way I dress, buy me a new wardrobe. You don't like the shoe. I know girls who have stopped dating guys because of their shoe game. Just buy the man some more shoes and quit tripping.
So you telling me there are women out there that would be okay with you saying, hey, I'll date you, but let me get your teeth fixed for you first.
You must not know who my grandfather is. Let me tell you something.
I know there are men out there that would do it, but are there women that would be okay with that? I feel like women would be like,
1,000%.
You don't want to take me like I am?
1,000%, Michael. Yes, they would. My grandfather told one of my mom's friends one time, she came to the church, and they was in the vestibule. If you know what the vestibule is, and you was born Baptist. And he was talking to her, and she's a nice lady. He said, you'd be a pretty lady if you got your teeth fixed. It was honest.
Yeah. Just like when I told that girl, you'll be a lot prettier if you straighten your hair. Wow, it's different. Donovan. That's how you gonna be?
I just want them to cancel half the show. Don't cancel my half. Nigga, look
The
straight
bottom,
down.
the half of the screen.
Listen.
Just cut that part off.
And it's a personal preference. The thing about it for me is that if you don't want to date me and I don't want to date you, then your opinion about how I look doesn't matter to me, right?
Yeah.
But if I mean, I've had women come into my life and, you know, Mike might say, but you're still single. So let me just stop there. But the point is that people have a tendency of voicing what they want, because I think that Carrie even said it best. We don't always want to admit how superficial we are.
True.
And how much it matters to us. Now, doing the self work, sometimes, like for me, the path will lead you down a place to where you really don't get caught up in it like you used to. And you start to understand what it is and the experience that you're looking for and how little the physical appearance plays in it. You know, but you know, there's also other things. Just be clean, you know, hygiene and stuff like that. But man, that type can really get in the way of an incredible life experience at the end of your days.
I agree.
Yeah. TT says she knows she's snagglepuss, and if your delivery is right, she probably go for it if she's really into you. If your delivery is right, let me tell you, she got pimp in her DNA, because they all about delivery. They all about delivery. Listen, baby, your teeth is walking on both sides of the street. I need y'all to come together. I'm done. I don't keep telling them. I'm not talking about my family. All right. I get canceled by my own family. Right. All right. So while we're dealing with this idea of who should you date, who should you marry, check this video out right here.
Guys, you cannot build a relationship with a woman who is emotionally immature. Now, she might be really attractive, really sexy. Maybe you had a great couple of first dates, but when you notice that things get real and she lacks emotional regulation, or she avoids accountability, or she has real limited empathy and understanding, or she's totally afraid of vulnerability, this demonstrates that she's emotionally immature. And that means she's not going to be right for you. Because instead of enjoying the relationship, being with her in the relationship, building together, you're going to spend your time constantly trying to be the bigger person, constantly trying to fix her, smooth things over, and repair a relationship that probably wasn't the right one to begin with.
Where you at? You need to see it again, or you good?
No, I'm good. I'm just trying to find any holes into anything she was saying. I think that's legit. Of course, I don't feel like that just goes for. I mean, women can be told the same thing about men. I just feel like some people don't realize if they're emotionally immature or not, though, because everybody don't have the tools to know that. I didn't realize I was emotionally immature. I just thought.
Listen, we taking IQ tests, personality tests. Second date is nothing but tests. I need assessments. We're doing a DISC assessment. There's Myers-Briggs third date, because how you gonna show me you and you don't know you, huh?
No, but because I don't feel like sometimes people don't know that they don't know themselves, and what they're showing you is what they think is them.
Have you tried to know yourself? Is that a red flag? You're asking somebody.
But again, I didn't know how to try to know myself until I got in therapy. I didn't know how to try to know myself.
So don't date somebody that doesn't go to therapy.
I just thought I know I like the color red. I know, I like cars. I know I have a passion for this, a passion for that. But I don't know why I get angry out the blue. I don't know why I had an issue with lying. Those are really things that you get to know when you start to know yourself. I didn't know how to do that.
I hear you. Therapy is important. But something that we always say on the podcast as well is that the community that you roll in, are you in groups and surrounded with people who are actually trying to grow and evolve as just human beings? I think that.
Yeah, but not in yes, but not at that age, not in terms of like getting to know yourself, like career. Yes. Okay. Being in school. Yes. But all of those things are still surface. When we're talking about the meat and potatoes of getting to know me, no, I don't. At that age, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have the Donnies in my life or the Janaes in my life to really have those tools.
I remember some of my first early revelations of finding out who I was through karate. my sensei. Certain meditations he made me have. This is why I think that good teachers, good mentors, good uncles, good father, good parenting, part of what they should be introducing you to, besides the realities of life, is yourself. Asking you questions instead of, you know what I'm saying to you, there's this opportunity that we rob children of by not asking them more questions and just telling them what to do.
Yep.
And I think that carries over into adulthood, where people don't really know what they want. They just know either how to obey or disobey what they're told.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? So when I'm listening to this video about emotional immaturity, my question is, in what area, and this is not for you to answer, but for like people to ask themselves, because even the most mature people, like, in what area do you feel the most immature? Because you may say as a overall average, I'm pretty emotionally mature, but when are you the most emotionally immature? Right? You know, and I think about a few areas that I know that my emotional maturity, I could do some work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying to you? And so when I'm looking at this video about emotional immaturity, I don't necessarily think that, again, going back to the first video we played, it's a prolonged state of immaturity if that person is actively working on it. But what she said is true. If they're not working on it, all your time, I've been in that situation, all your time is going to be spent walking on eggshells, trying to be the bigger person, which you end up gaslighting them, enabling them, because you're not holding them accountable to doing the work, but you still want to stay in that relationship for, usually because the benefit is good sex, or usually the benefit is finances.
Or potential.
Or you have a complex and an ego that is fed every time you...
I'm going to fix this person, damn it.
It's crazy, because you think you're fixing them, but you're actually keeping them stuck where they are, because you won't let them suffer through the journey of self-discovery,
which is what we were talking about earlier. Letting that person hold this heavy weight. You push it up. I'm not going to help you push it up. This goes. I love having these conversations because they go back to, I know when my nephews are watching the show, right? That in this early, like we're talking about tonight, who to date, who to marry. We talk when you're encountering emotional immaturity or intellectual immaturity or a low EQ score, emotional intelligence score. Don't just brush over those things. Those, I think tonight, what I feel like is being highlighted, that those things that don't seem like a big deal become the biggest deals in therapy, in counseling, in marriage. Yep.
Because some people are allergic to responsibility and accountability, and you see signs of it early on. Yeah. But do you know what those signs look like? Somebody got to start teaching, or at least open up the conversation. I feel like that's what our podcast does. So when my nephews watch this and they'll text me a question or something, I'm like, here, you can go read this book, watch this article, or we can have this discussion together. Because, man, the heart of a person, I don't care what wars they've been through and how much life they live, it's fragile.
Yeah.
And we keep exposing ourselves, Donovan, to situations thinking that my heart isn't made of what it's made of. I done said some stuff on this show before, like, bro, who do you think that you are?
Yeah.
What do you think that you're made of?
Yeah.
You are no one's punching bag. You are no one's. You're no one's practice court.
Yep. And the heart isn't bulletproof. You can do all the therapy, all the healing you want to do. The heart is still going to be the heart. And stuff is going to penetrate it just like anything else would.
Carrie Webb said, I feel emotionally immature when I shut down or totally blow up and act out when my boundaries are crossed. I used to feel that way. And then my therapist told me to start. He said, so this time you did it. Two things. Was it as bad as the last time you did it? And then the second thing was, how long did it take for you to become aware that you were doing it? And he said, what you have to calculate in this journey is progress.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying to you? And I'm not saying that this blow up was any better than your last, but it's always a good question to ask. Or I think I and other people start to feel like there's no point because I keep doing the same thing. But did you do it as long and as bad as you did it last time? And that's not to enable. It's just to say, hey, sometimes there's slow progress and then there's a burst of progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then sometimes that attaboy to yourself can go a long way.
Yeah. 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 I think it's it's important to have this conversation about emotional immaturity, because we had a video that went viral around a while ago, and it says that some things can't be healed until you get into a relationship. That means that some of your immature ways won't be exposed until you get into a relationship. You are probably a solid business person, solid in your community, solid with your family, and as soon as there's conversations around the heart, or somebody has a potential to get to know you on a deeper level, parts of you start showing up that you forgot about or didn't even know. Stuff that you ain't been working on, right? And so this is a conversation I'm having with a friend recently about stop shielding your children from life, because you think that you're keeping them safe, but you're really giving them an incredibly huge handicap. So when they do get into relationships where heart-to-heart conversations, they're just sensitive about everything.
Yep.
They're just they can't handle any real conversation.
Yep.
That is they can't handle disagreement. I don't understand why. Or listen,
losing. I can't handle none of it.
Criticism and losing are huge, because those are important parts of life that I think are pivotal for growth, and they're necessary. Mm-hmm. Everybody want a dub. Give me an L. I'll take some L's too. It's part of the gumbo. Like,
yeah. You have to have it, especially like you said, people that withhold that kind of stuff from their kids, or even with the sports these days, where everybody gets a trophy, and that's not real life. That's not real life, because what you should be doing is when your kid does take the L, that's the time to get in there and do those and teach. Don't just let them wallow in the L, but teach them. Okay, so you lost. How does that make you feel? Why do you feel that way? Okay, how can you do better the next time? So you won't. It's just so many teaching moments. But if, like you said, you keep your kid in this bubble and all they know is W's in life, when they get their first one at 23 years old, it's like slit wrist into the world.
Life is over.
Life is over.
Let me tell you another wonderful part of my weekend, bro. So I went to this event today, gymnastics championship, and one of my friend's daughters was hanging out with me and my niece Ava. Mm-hmm. And so, she's what, 4 or 5 years old, and had some sugar, had some food, was having some fun. The people told her she couldn't play on the stuff on the side anymore. She got in her feelings and started crying. And so it was me and her, and then my friend's daughter, who was, I think, I want to say 11. Mm-hmm. And she just, she's whining and crying and falling. I just want to play. We've all seen it with kids. And then, my friend's daughter was like, oh, it's going to be okay. And I was like, no, she's fine. I said, she's just cycling through all her emotions. And I rubbed her back and I said, okay, there's anger, there's sadness, there's anxiety, you know what I'm saying? And there's laughter. I see it, and then there's this and there's that. And she was getting so angry, she started tooting a little bit. I said, did you toot? Did you she started laughing, and then she went back to crying again. And I was telling her, it's okay. She's just cycling through the emotions. This is practice. I'm a whole space for you to cycle at an early age, to cycle through all your emotions, so you know what they all feel like. Yep. I'm not going to be immediate to tell you to stop crying. I'm not going to be immediate to say fix your face. I'm not going to be immediate to do all things, because one thing that you're going to need to know as an adult, and you should practice now, is start to getting a real good feel of what these emotions feel like before I hold you responsible for doing something with them. Yeah. And the reason this is such a big compliment, because I didn't think it was a big deal at the moment. The girl told her mom what I did, and her mom texted me and she said, my daughter was blown away by the way you handled Ava's little tantrum today. She was like, her daughter's 11 years old. She said, why didn't I think of that? That made me feel like I made a difference in this generation. If it was only one child that got the idea at 11 years old, that some people don't get until they're 40.
Yeah, man. That's really
to let people, like, even in relationships, if your partner is off the handle, don't leave. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you guys got some equity in it and it's a good relationship. Adults throw tantrums. Mm-hmm. Now, if they throw hands at you, that's a whole different kind of tantrum that, learn how to fight. But my point is that there's an empathy or a grace that you can start to occupy when you recognize that people are just having a human experience. Yeah. And this may be new to them, but it doesn't make your responsibility to handle it. So going back to what I was saying before about, it doesn't make it your responsibility to stay committed to that person in it, but you can still help them through it. I've been in relationships before where people they weren't ready for the responsibilities, the weight, and the conversations associated with trying to marry someone. And it showed. And what I was asked to do, and not all of them, but some situations, was just be patient with me. And I'm like, patience often means pause. Doesn't necessarily have to mean pause, but if we're on a path to doing something, and you're asking me to be patient. I'm like, okay, we can slow down a little bit, but we got to slow down everything. We got to kind of look at what's happening here because some things, as I said in the beginning of the podcast, some things are legitimately red flags, deal breakers. Yeah. And sometimes pausing and patience don't fix it, don't make it any better. And like Mike says, it requires a conversation. Here's what you're doing. Here's what I feel like I can do about it. Here's what I don't want to be responsible for doing. What do you need from me? Out of all you just asked for, here's what I can give. And here's what I can't give. And I'm not giving it because I don't love you. But I have a belief system that informs me that that's your responsibility and not mine. Yeah. And I shouldn't be the villain for it.
That's an ideal way to start that conversation. It's going to take a emotionally mature partner to be able to handle that, though. That could be a lot for some people.
And it takes a lot of humility, because sometimes if I find someone I'm attracted to, like, oh, she's beautiful, she's a good kisser, there's so much potential there, and for me to see that this person is not ready to get married, it takes a lot of humility for me to not to be upset that I'm not going to get what I want from this. Instead, seeing that, oh, you know what, I could be a very instrumental person in their life by holding space, being empathetic, and not trying to force what I want, which is the engagement, the marriage, the baby. You know what I'm saying to you? Oftentimes the what is it? The fork in the road is am I going to show empathy, or am I going to try to force what it is I really want?
But that's not to say that the things you want shouldn't be voiced, because they should.
Oh, voice, yes, but force them to happen, especially with that person that is clearly, after conversation, not there yet. Be patient.
Sometimes, or go leave and find somebody that.
No, not necessarily be patient with that person. Be patient with life.
Got you. Yeah. Okay.
I remember one time my grandma, I was praying, and God, this was after the fact, and God was telling me, like, that was still in the oven. That was still in the oven. You was trying to eat that too soon. That was still in the oven.
This stuff still raw in the middle. Pause.
That one was still in the oven. Slow down. TT said, what about someone threatening you when you didn't do what they told you to do if they couldn't have their way? Example, you're gonna live to regret this. WTF does that mean? Sheesh. You want to talk about it, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry to me. They feel like if you don't do what they say, that eventually you're going to realize that, oh shit, I should have done what that person told me to do, because now I'm in an even worse situation.
And it appears that person believes that they have the power to dictate and create that reality for you.
Yeah.
And if you choose to believe that, then you have just fallen into the trap.
Big time, because that's at the end of the day, that's really what they want.
That is a prophetic word that's gonna fall flat unless you feed into it.
Yeah, because only you can give that power, right?
Can't nobody tell you that you're gonna live to regret this. Like, who gave you that revelation? Who said that?
That's funny.
That's I don't want to use the word narcissistic use a lot, but manipulation, witchcraft. I mean, we teetering on a lot of these very dangerous mindsets that could stem from a hurt that a person is in. It's not always a person trying to intentionally hurt them, but that could be what they were taught and what they were told. Some people give ultimatums because their parents gave them ultimatums their entire life.
And some people use them out of fear. Oh my God, I really don't want you to go anywhere. I don't know what else to do, so I'm going to threaten you. Hopefully that'll make you stay.
Yep. I was talking to my mentor recently, and he said that people who aren't patient with God's process will more than likely not be patient with you. He said there are people who give God ultimatums, so they're definitely going to give you one. He said oftentimes we want to say, what I said this on a video before, when you say you love me, what do you mean when you say you love me? And I said that you have to look at the things that they say that they love to identify what they mean when they say they love you. And he told me, he said, look at how they love. If they're a Christian girl, which, that's what I'm aiming at. He said, look at how they love God. And I'm not saying you look at it to judge them, Because they struggle with submission to God and obedience to God and spending time with God. He said there's something there that you're being exposed to. You need to take to God in prayer and say, hey, what am I looking at? You know what I'm saying to you? Because if that's supposed to be the final authority, the father of their life, the creator of all things, and you're expecting somehow they're going to treat you better than that. Again, just have these discussions. Don't draw conclusions. Don't form judgments. Have conversation. Before we move on to the next video, Candace said it's not just kids that need that, though. We put so much pressure to regulate at all times. We don't have compassion for people. Listen,
I feel like it starts as a kid, though. Me and Janae were watching some YouTube. We watch these like cop YouTube videos, and this little girl, her mom had just—it's pretty graphic, but her mom had just ended her dad's life, and so the mom is in jail in the cop car. The little girl, maybe 7 years old, at the car crying, and the mom says, "Stop crying. You'll be all right. Stop crying. You can handle this. Just be strong." She's 7. You're her mother, and you're going to jail probably forever, and you're telling this little girl that she can handle. Like, what message are we teaching our kids? We're teaching the same message as stop crying, you're a boy, boys don't cry. We're teaching the same message as all little girls are princesses and they want to grow up and they want to wear pink and they want all these different messages that we're really indoctrinating into our children that are not even real things or even right things that we should be teaching children.
I believe that this stems from the idea, I've heard this phrase a lot, that it's a hard world and it's getting harder. And so I believe in response to that, people are trying to raise harder children. They're trying to raise harder people so that they can survive a hard world.
So does that make the world harder by raising harder children? You would think that we would have, you would think that we would, what's the word I'm thinking?
Counteract?
You would think that we would counteract that, but by creating a softness in our children. Because everybody can't walk around hard.
You would only do. Can I be one? No. You will only do that if you believe in the power of softness, though.
Yeah, which I do.
Because you wouldn't want to put your child as a disservice, as a sacrifice to be. It's okay. Be the soft one out there. Be the loving one, and just let them beat you down. But you got to believe that there's a power associated with a gentle spirit. And that even gentle is power. I hear exactly what you're saying, and I agree with that 100%. Because Denham has a soft heart to the point where it irritates me sometimes. Because sometimes I want him to be more aggressive, but I believe that God told me to let him be him. If this is his personality, don't try to change his natural way of being into something that you want to see. Yeah, exactly. I remember one movie they were talking about how men should be men, and sometimes men are kings, and sometimes they're warriors, and sometimes they're both. Mm-hmm. But they naturally grow to be a certain way. They talk about kings hardly ever raise their voice. Mm-hmm. They don't have to. There's something about them that demands the respect in the room, whatever the energy is. But warriors, on the other hand, have a whole war cry that they do to intimidate, and bring about the change they want to have. Every man has their own way of doing it once they grow into the personality of their manhood, So, but because you said that, bro, I want to play this video real quick.
Let's get it.
Even though your facts are accurate, it's not the time for your facts. Minimize your facts and maximize their feelings. Your partner is in the pool drowning, and your partner's drowning in the swimming pool, and you walk up to the swimming pool and you start spitting facts. You knew you couldn't swim in 8 feet. Facts. You knew there was no lifeguard on duty. Facts. You knew that the pool closed at 5. It is 8:30. Why are we here? Facts. Everything you said was factual. The problem is your partner's drowning. And what matters in this moment is not that there's no lifeguard. It's not that the pool is closed. It's not that they can't swim in 8 feet. That doesn't matter in this moment. What matters in this moment is your partner is drowning, ladies and gentlemen. Even though.
Back to the conversation. There's logic versus emotions versus being present versus trying to teach a lesson versus holding space. versus I'm having a human moment in a situation I've never been in before and I'm struggling.
Yeah.
You struggle with this, Mike, as much as I do?
Yeah, no, seriously, yeah. I'm an engineer knows. I'm a facts guy, and what I've learned to do in this relationship, because what I've learned to do in this relationship is be factual after the fact. So let's talk about
factual after the fact. I love it.
Yeah. So like he said, let me help you out of the pool. Let me dry you off. Let's sit down. Let me make sure you're not traumatized from almost drowning. And then it could be, babe, why was you even in the pool? And you knew you couldn't swim. Now we can get into the facts of it. But to lead with that, I found that he's 100% right. You don't have to lead with all of your facts right out the gate.
Let me ask a question. Why do you think we do, though?
Because a lot of things for me are common sense. Like, I know I wouldn't do it, so why the hell would you? Like, common sense, but it's not common sense. Like they say, it's not common for everybody. My common sense ain't your common sense, ain't her common sense. She may have thought, well, I jumped in because I thought it wasn't as deep as it was, or I didn't see the sign that said the pool was closed. But in my mind, I'm already paying attention to everything. Like, you should know you shouldn't have been in there.
Let me ask you a different question, because I sure enough didn't think it was going to go that way. Do you like, when you're in a distress situation, to have facts thrown at you first? Do those help you regulate?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so this is a conversation I was having with a close friend as well. Oftentimes, the stuff that we're saying to people are just creative ways of saying, why aren't you doing it the way that I would?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you receive this the way that I would receive it?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you think about this the way that I think about it?
Mm-hmm.
And we just find and so being factual is a very creative way of saying, why aren't you logical in a situation that I would clearly be logical in?
Yeah. I think that in the relationship that I'm in, and I think that when you really want to get to know, like I've always said, to know your partner on that cellular level, everything about them, it almost causes you to see things with two different sets of eyes. So now when I'm looking at situations, I'm seeing them through Janae's eyes and I'm seeing them through my eyes. So now before I react, I think about, okay, she's probably doing this because Janae's thinking. And then I think about it, I'm probably thinking this way because of my thinking. Now, when I deliver whatever it is I'm going to say, it could be with the mindset of both of us. Like, were you doing that because you thought, oh yeah, and the conversation, instead of going 10, it stays level. Because I decided to come about that situation. But that's only when you really are involved with your partner, when you're really trying to create that partnership.
I'm gonna do me while considering you.
Yes.
Yeah. So it made me think, like what Carrie Dubb said. She said anger and fear could also be the reasons why facts are thrown out instead of support. And I think that I want to agree with that. Anger and fear around, why aren't you like me? Mm-hmm. I think there's pride shows up in this way. Pride says that we've spent enough time figuring out how to best do life, and anybody that doesn't do it like us is obviously wrong.
But check this out. This is so powerful. Check this out. So, but I want to be with you. I want to marry you. I fell in love with you because you. So now then, why am I getting upset because you're not like me? That's not. I didn't even approach you because you were like me. I approached you because you was like you. Because
in fight or flight, the way our brain works is that it wants usually the most familiar thing. What's going to preserve us in this moment is if I need you to snap out of you and be me right now.
Because I know what's best.
Which is why a lot of men do a lot of teaching in their relationships, because you're trying to make her think more like you, which I found to be the most beneficial is just helping her tap into her preservation or creative mindset, because she may have a way of doing it even better than you thought of.
Oh God. And that's the perfect way of saying that, because me and Janae do these drills in our house. So we like literally get our guns and clear the house. And what if you know,
how long did it take you to collect all 30 guns?
We just.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead with your story.
So, but my point is, she'll ask questions. Well, what if this is happening at this angle? What stuff that I never even thought of. That's why it's so important not to just do this, do that, do that, do this. But if you guys come at it as a collective, you'll be able to get all these different ways of thinking jumbled into one that makes, you know, the whole piece of the pie.
And this is how you guys got a gun in the restroom. Because if there was a home invasion, I know Jay was the one that said, what if you're on the toilet? I know she was the one that said that. What happens if you're on the toilet? And that's how a gun got in the bathroom. I get it now. I get it. It's a great drill. I love it. I got the runs and niggas just running up in the house. All right. Listen, when you start piecing the puzzles together, it's like, that makes sense. Why is there a gun in the oven? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, I get it.
You crazy. That's
all right. Man, so we got some time left. Did you want to do the book tonight, or you're not ready for the book yet? Okay, let's not do it then.
I'm just lost. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna show it to you, but we're not gonna do it tonight because I got something else for us to do. So hold on, this one.
Oh, let's do it next.
Okay, so this is we got time. We could probably do both.
Okay,
I want to do this one first. This says, I had a lot of reasons to give up on you, but I chose to stay. You had a lot of reasons to stay, but you chose to give up. You might be using dangerous words and phrases that affect your man much more than you might realize. Most women do this without even knowing it, and it accidentally kill their man's attraction towards them. The good news is you can make a simple shift in your thinking that can bring a level of attraction, love, and security to your relationship that you never imagined was possible. The reason I want to talk about this post is because it says you might be using dangerous words and phrases that affect your man much more than you might realize. Most women do this without even knowing it and accidentally kill their man's attraction towards them.
It's so much deeper than the attraction towards them. It'll kill their attraction towards relationships in general. I don't want to be in another relationship because what this woman got me to believe about myself.
Got you. So before we jump off that deep end,
because
I agree with you 100%. Let's just spend a few moments talking about why he doesn't compliment you like he used to. It's the phrases and the words that are being used that are coming out of your mouth that he doesn't associate with feminine, that he doesn't associate with respect. He doesn't associate with love. And you just call it, I'm just being me. This is how I am. This is how I talk. And nobody wants to be held to a specific protocol or way of being in a relationship because everybody just wants to be free, even at the neglect of stewarding an environment that's suitable for everyone, not just you. And I think that, you know, from my experience, I've talked to my really close female friends who've been in relationships and they struggle to understand how their words can affect a man's attraction to them when they still dress up the same way, when they still buy the same weave, when they still do the same makeup, when they still wear the same perfume. Because you gotta understand, even though men are visual, we can bypass all that with how you interact with us with your words.
1000%.
The words you speak to a man, honestly, that's why I told you I have a type, but there's a bypass.
Yeah.
With the right words and the right energy that just comes with it. Like, but again, that's how the Bible says that a wise woman builds up her house I forgot what the other kind of woman it is, but she tears it down with her words. It says that in the Bible. It's her words that tears it back down, while a wise woman builds it up. So, what you got, bro?
I think that a lot of times, at least in situations, relationship that I've encountered, the women that I've encountered figure that because I'm a woman and because you pursued me, that should be that they've done their part. almost. Like, you came after me. You wanted me. So you're pretty much the one that has to do the work. You know, if you want the prize. And I think that a lot of times that mentality is what gets a lot of women in trouble, because yeah, I did pursue you. Yeah, I do want you, but that doesn't mean that you can talk to me any kind of way, that you can just, do whatever it is you want to do.
You can. It doesn't mean I'm gonna stay attracted to you while you're doing it.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes.
We'll call it 1-800 Ask Jackie again. Jackie just texted me. She says Proverbs 14:1. It says, "The wise woman builds her house. With her own hands, the foolish one tears hers down." So I think I was reading a different translation that says with her own words, probably the Passion. But if you want to reference Proverbs 14:1. And so what are some phrases, Mike, that you would encourage our audience to be careful of using?
You always.
I think it's a book. I'm not sure if it's a book, but I know for sure it's a practice. I think it's a book. It's called War Words. Mm-hmm. Words not to use when you're having a disagreement with your partner. And definitives like that, always, never, are words you want to stay away from, because they're not factual.
You always do the. Do I always do it, or did I do it twice?
Yeah. And Jackie says again, avoid extremes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, that brings in that emotional intelligence to say to yourself, I'm upset, I'm mad, I'm seeing red, but at the same time, I know he didn't always, or he never does this. So let me not even throw that in there.
And with all fairness, like we've been, in all fairness, like we've been talking about tonight, when I recognize it's happening, do your best not to become triggered because your person is triggered.
Ooh,
you see her in it, and you have to be like, oh, like I did with my niece. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. Go ahead. And afterwards, I've done this before. I was like, so how much of that did you mean?
Yeah. Well, I was mad.
Or don't be petty and facetious with me. That's when you know, like, oh, this is over. Listen, I tried to come calm, and you doubled down. Listen, okay, listen.
Yep.
You and your personalities.
Right.
I think that. So even with this, and I would say that, emotional maturity helps you to kind of hold space for your partner when they're having one of those breakdowns. But at the same time, you have to know that there's consequences to the words you say and the words you don't say. So if you see, the compliments are becoming fewer, or the eye contact is becoming fewer, or he's not really looking at you or wanting to engage with you like he
becoming fewer.
Yeah, like he used to. Again, like Mike said, there's a conversation needs to be had.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't happen because the conversations that were previously had were never completed because of a lack of emotional regulation.
So now he don't even want to have a conversation no more. Everything gets on his nerves.
And why is he still there though? Because it's not a clean cut, I don't want to be here. It's a battle. And this could be on her side too. But because we're talking about the post, we're talking about phrases. I think a phrase that we heard last week is, and this is one that confuses most men, I feel like you don't love me. Jackie, what does that mean?
To me, that's equivalent to never and always. So the other 350 days out of the year you did, but these other few days you don't feel like or is it that you're upset that I didn't agree with you in this moment?
My question is always, first of all, I wish you would have told me known that. I wish you would have told me known. I wish you would have let me know. It's for straight Southern. I wish you would have let me know that I could change your feelings about how I love you. Like that. I'm not saying you wrong. I'm just saying like that. Yo, that's a deep phrase. Yeah, and if it's accurate, I need to know. Keena says, feelings come and go and truth remains. It's hard to know. I feel like it's hard to know what's the truth in this moment. You know what I'm saying to you? Because there's a truth that my emotions want me to believe. There's a truth that patterns and logic is telling me. And then there may be a truth that the spirit is within me saying this is what it is.
Hopefully they all align.
Usually.
When they all different, that's a problem.
Yeah, then you sitting there, then you silent, and you're like, run, punch, or pray. Nigga.
Right. You may have to do all of them. Shit.
Listen, I done called 1-800-ASK Jackie, and Jackie still ain't answered me about what does it mean when a woman says, I feel like you don't love me. Oh, shoot, there it is. She said, it means there is a fear, insecurity she has that she's maybe not loved or something in the way she's being dealt with by the said man that is telling her he's not in love with her. So what I took from that is that there's a way that a man can deal with a woman.
Oh, yeah, I'm out. I bow out. I don't want to have to deal with nobody. If I gotta deal with you, it's already not for me.
I don't know, man.
No,
Jackie,
I do. No.
I don't know. I feel like we gotta deal with ourselves. We gotta deal with everybody. Who don't you have to deal with?
If I gotta deal with me, I don't want to have to deal with you and me. No. I don't feel like I ever have to deal with Janae. Ever. I don't have to deal. No.
Well, okay, what define deal? Define deal for me.
No. I gotta deal because now I feel like I gotta. I can't deal. I can't deal with it.
Jackie, I use a different word. She said, so let me take away from it. She said, there's a fear, insecurity that she's maybe not loved. And I think that it's saying that she's verifying if someone loves her based on how they interact with her.
In that moment?
In that moment. Not on... That's horrible. That means that your idea, you think I love you, I don't love you, and that goes back to the damn flowers. He loves me, he loves me not. He loves me, he loves me not.
There it is. Yes. That's true because that's what it was.
Your whole relationship is he loves me, he loves me not.
My God.
Golly.
That's an epiphany, nigga.
If I gotta decide that I love you, then you gotta decide to believe it.
He loves me not. On them damn flower petals. Oh my God! Women have been brainwashed from day one.
Well, hold on. I did that in 6th grade about this girl, so I did the rose petals. All right.
But it goes back to children, is what I'm saying. Maybe not just
women. Damn. Yes, it does. He loves me. He loves me not.
It's like He-Man, right?
Bruh.
Same thing.
He loves me. He loves me not.
Barbie.
Well, that's a horrible place.
Barbie, all I have to do is be pretty, and Ken will come along with his new car and his dream house, and I'll have everything I want because I'm pretty.
Well, not everything. Ken was junkless, if you recall. He had a smooth front.
He was smooth. That may be a problem, but other than that,
that's what some women want.
Anyway,
that's
rough.
So wow. Jack said that's crazy. I'm just giving examples of what some people may think, but either way, it's just a feeling of a woman. It's just a feeling a woman is expressing. So this is crazy because if in that moment she's saying she feels like I don't love her, then if her saying that to me causes me to feel different about her, ain't I doing the same exact thing she's doing? Being flip floppy in the moment. Now we both flip floppy. Somebody got to stay solid.
And so keeping on topic, isn't that a sign of emotional immaturity? Because we're talking about based on your emotions. She just said it was because of her emotions that she's making the statement that I don't love you. Like, come on.
I don't want to say it's a sign of emotional immaturity because I think it falls in the realm of being triggered. And in that space, I'm not sure how much of the logical mind is at place enough to say this is I can diagnose this as emotional immaturity. So emotional immaturity is a tendency to express emotions in an excessive or unrestrained way or to have difficulty regulating them. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, yeah, some examples are difficulty regulating emotions, poor communication, difficulty taking responsibility, difficulty empathizing, impulsive behavior, difficulty with conflict, difficulty with boundaries, and selfishness. Sheesh. Okay, Michael. I think you are correct.
God is good.
Shiloh Myth says it can just mean that the energy has shifted and it doesn't feel as if he is as into her as he was before.
So I can ask some questions. I agree with that. So let's ask some questions. Let's not say you don't love me anymore. I feel like you don't. That's not true. What you feel is, ask me why I'm not doing this anymore, or ask me why this doesn't happen like it used to happen. Ask me why.
Ain't nothing but a tell me why. I heard it too.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, and to me, Shiloh Myth, that sounds like emotional maturity.
It sounds like she sat with that feeling enough to give language to it, right? And I think that's one of the most powerful things we can do, because all of us have grown up with certain feelings and we use certain phrases when we have those feelings. But when you get into a relationship, you can get in a business partnership or romantic partnership. One of the things you can do as a due diligence to preserve that space is to learn how to give language to something that might be new to someone else. You've been with it your whole life. Do you know how to give words and give language to what you're feeling? That's something I had to work on in multiple relationships, because I'm like, nah, I feel like da da da. Ooh, that can be interpreted so many different ways. Let me learn how to give language to that.
But you didn't have to learn that. That was a sign of maturity.
All right, here we go. Yep. Okay. I'll take it. All right. This one, are we done?
So put it up there. Oh.
You got food waiting?
What time is it?
Ask the boss. Boss, we done?
She said it's up to me. I know what that means. We done.
Did she look at you like this?
Emotional maturity.
Listen, Mike is practicing emotional maturity. Like, listen, nigga, I know exactly what's going on here. Go ahead, Jay. I ain't mad at you at all. Listen. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Nah, this is my man. I feel like they should just go somewhere else and handle their own thing.
Listen, she was speaking to the golden child. She wanted to see if you learned anything from the beginning of this podcast. This is her time. At the end of every episode, ladies and gentlemen, we like to give you a mental health resource. If you struggle with anything that we talked about tonight, or having a personal crisis, emotionally, looking to develop yourself character-wise or intellectually, whatever it is, reach out to this number. There are so many resources available. You don't have to try to figure it out alone. Like me and Mike were saying, maybe you didn't grow up with this teaching. It's not too late to start to understand yourself better, to get on your self-discovery journey. 988 is the number you can call. I know it says suicide and crisis hotline, but they have so many more resources available to people. That was just a good 2 phrases to use to help people understand the width of what they can help you to work on. So if you need to get connected to a therapist or a support group, whatever it may be, call 988, or you can go online and chat with someone live, and they're great with following up with you and getting you connected. We've had a few people from the show call this number, and nothing but success stories associated with it. So thank you guys so much for that. You praying us out of you, or is it on me?
It's on you.
I got on my chic hat tonight anyway, so let's do it. Father God, we thank you so much for this night. We thank you for just overcoming even early technical difficulties for everybody who came on to watch this show that you called here. I pray, Lord, they spend time thinking about what you may share to them specifically, even those who are committed to watching on rebroadcast tomorrow. We see you. And we're grateful that you're watching, and we hope that maybe something that was said did help. We thank you, Father God, that you spoke to us, and you spoke to us that, even some of the revelations we got about being a golden child, or being more emotionally intelligent, or, calling things out they should, just all this stuff, Father God. We just thank you that you just supplied us with so many great conversations to meditate on and take back to you in prayer, so that we can continue to refine how we interact with people in the romantic and the platonic spaces. Thank you. Be with us tonight as you rest. May we meet here again next week. In Jesus' name we do say and we pray.
Amen. Also, Thanksgiving is coming up on what, Thursday?
Mm-hmm.
Let's I know this is a time where, some people loved ones have passed, or you feel like I don't have anybody to spend this holiday for. You're feeling like I don't have nothing to be thankful for. I can't afford rent. I can't afford my kids. I can't, all of this stuff that we feel like is like end of the world stuff just got us beaten down and feeling like, there's no hope or there's no way out. I challenge everyone to find something that they can legit be thankful for. Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes it's not easy to see that because life has thrown so much dirt on top of us, on top of our eyes. Sometimes it's hard to see, the things that are right in front of us that we have to be thankful for. But I challenge everybody to just find something that you're thankful for and hold on to that. You know what I mean? And thank God for that thing. Yeah. And use that number for sure. Use that number. If you're feeling down because of the holidays, feel free to call. Like, it's not just, like we always say, it's not just a suicide hotline. It's not just I'm about to do something bad to me or someone. No, just call the number and just talk to somebody.
Yeah. Enough said.
All right. Cool.
Enjoy your holidays, ladies and gentlemen. We love y'all.
2 Chainz.